Hello, and welcome to my YouTube channel. I'm Gary.
Bunny.
You look cross-eyed.
I do? Oh,
yeah,
I do. Look. I don't know.
And we have a total of 3 people that showed up for this. See what happens? You take those free readings away, those free. Now it's and we're going to do current events. And since I'm the perfect person to do current events because I don't know anything about anything really. So whatever questions you ask will be pretty easy. I mean, here's the thing about mediumship. If I already know the answer, then that might come out rather than most people have 2 voices. I just have one. I don't have my own voice that tells me things. I have voices from the other side. That voice went away when I was a child. So I just have spirit voices. And so it's easy for me to tell what's true and what's not true. If you ask me something about the Kardashians or something, I won't have a clue. Most of the videos I do come through, spiritual intervention, or they say something, I do a video about it, but I don't actually know anything about it. So I'm perfect for this. Oh, lots of people showing up. Okay. Lots of, oh boy.
Pretty flowers and hearts.
Tanya, Bernard, you've got hearts everywhere. Okay, well, let's start with a simple question. Charlene, Miss Micro.
What is that?
What's the future of QAnon, which I don't know what that is, but I think it has something to do with the liberal world. Is that your computer talking?
No.
Oh. There's a downward slide with that group. The problem is not what they're representing. It's the group itself has become radicalized through outside influences. There's nothing wrong with a lot of these groups except that they become a platform for somebody else, and that's what's happened here. They are refusing to get the message. So it's a downward slide from here. Many hopefuls, I believe, will try and come in and reorganize that and make more centralized. But persona non grata, someone's saying. It means the country really doesn't want them anymore. So the Ku Klux Klan had a lot of members riding horses with little pointy hats until the general public wasn't interested in. What do you stop pointing?
I'm showing you something.
I know what it is.
Okay.
It's a left-winger. It's a left-wing. They're the ones that went into the White House. It's a downhill slide for them. They've lost and something about them being out of their comfort zone. They're not very comfortable anymore with what they're doing. A lot of them have apologized for what they've done, and it's kind of like the NRA. NRA is in such a disarray. I believe they've mismanaged funds, so the NRA is out too. So that's on the other end, on the right-hand side.
Oh, wow.
Okay, where are we at?
Right-wingers.
Right-wingers.
They're extremists,
yeah.
Either way. I don't
What
know.
is the political future for DeSantis? See, I don't know who that is, but I'm going to tell you what I'm getting. He's often misspoken and misunderstood, and his downfall happens because of not who he is, but who he's connected with. He's made some wrong moves, which will come out. That's the thing about America now. You can't hide anything. If you've done something in your past, someone's going to jump up and say something. And he has political opponents that are quite strong. They don't like his viewpoints, but someone's saying he's out of touch with what's going on. So, sorry about that. Okay. Oh, QAnon's not a left-wing group, it's a right-wing group. it doesn't matter. They're sort of out of favor with out of step with the rest of the country. They always were a fringe group, but they really got fringe when they had someone in the White House that would listen to them. I wouldn't be surprised to see some Ku Klux Klanners come riding down the street on horses with white pointy sheets and hats and everything. They're out of favor too. They're still there. They just currently don't have a leader. And QAnon's like that. Some of their people are going to jail. Some of their most ardent, outspoken leaders are going to jail. It's what happens when you get a leader that leads you down the wrong path. You're kind of stuck on the path. Okay, where are we going? Will there be justice for George Floyd? Yes, but not in the way that you think. I believe laws will be changed. I believe instructors will be taught to teach people in the police community. Although this man knew what was acceptable and not acceptable, he did it anyway, and it killed this man. He will be punished for it, but not to the extent that you would think. Less so. Justice for George Floyd. I don't know, what was he doing sitting in a car doing drugs? I mean, these are just red flags for police. I think personally, someone's saying he's a pretty nice guy. They're easygoing. There's a tale to tell about George Floyd that hasn't come out yet. There's a story. And I believe it'll write a book, and I believe it'll be a movie. Maybe with Denzel Washington. He'd be perfect. They don't look the same, but he would be really a good actor to play that part. But I believe we will make a movie. Will the voter suppression laws be reversed? First of all, they're illegal. They're anti-people. They're unconstitutional. They're laws that were passed in the South when black people got the vote, and just to keep people from voting. And now they're trying to do it again. I don't believe it'll have any success. Much like the anti-abortion movement, I don't want to tie those two together, but the law of the land is you have certain rights, and to try and restrict them will be rejected. It's going to take some time. Let's see. Will Kavanaugh or Barrett leave SCOTUS? Supreme Court, right? Neither one of them at the current time are interested in leaving the Supreme Court. That's a cushy job till they die.
That's why they're all old.
They've gotten some. Well, I think one's pretty young. I know one. Hello, Mary Hernandez. Susie Stroud, will Social Security for retirees last at least 20 more years? Yes. The only thing keeping people who are retired without money, all they have is Social Security, from being homeless is that. So it would create too many other social problems. So they're going to have to continue to fund that. Actually, we funded that, but they borrow it to buy tanks with and build walls that we don't need. So yeah, it'll continue on. There'll always be a need for that. Political chaos on that one. Anybody that touches that will it's not going to work. Will the price of housing come down? Temporarily. Everything goes back up though. Until people will pay a lesser amount because that's all they've got. And some of this housing is not ideal, but the price will be better for some people. People living on a fixed income cannot afford some of these things now. You're saying fixed income. Housing will continue to rise. It's going to go down temporarily, but it will go back up. And it's almost unachievable now. When we first met, I had an apartment, and we lived in my apartment, and it was a lot. It was a lot of money. It's about what Social Security is. So I continue to work. But the housing market will remain as it is. It'll be stable for a while, 3 years maybe, and then it'll go up. I don't know what you mean. There's no home inventory in prices sky high now.
There's not a lot of houses.
Well, I'm not talking about homes. I'm just talking about housing. The question was housing, not homes.
Well, they're just commenting on
And that's not the same. And around here, they're building apartments as far as the eye can see. Hundreds of thousands of apartments. Houses, not so many. So houses will be at a premium. Apartments will remain stable for a while, and then they'll go up as they always do. Homes, they're going to skyrocket because there'll be fewer of them. And once people achieve a certain amount of money, then they'll become even more popular. A side note on that, our house, we've been offered a lot more money than we paid for it because there isn't a lot of housing.
Right.
Apartments are everywhere.
Right. We just won't have anywhere to go.
We could throw a rock out this window before long. I mean, in any direction, apartments, multiple acres and acres and acres of apartments. Because that's what's affordable now, but soon will be. The thing about housing is all you need is a down to get a pretty good price. And most people don't have that. They lost it in 2008 and then this COVID thing. And we have, I don't know what it is, 20-something million people collecting unemployment. And it doesn't buy a lot of housing. I don't mean to go on about that, but it is going to be a problem for seniors, they're saying, seniors. What will happen with young people is they'll move in together. They're saying communal living. Communal living. So the future in apartments is that there'll be 2 or 3 families living in a small apartment, and that'll make it affordable, but not good. We thought no one was going to show up because there's only 2 people. There's 3 people in the chat. There's 3 people in the chat room, and she was one of them. So
that's great.
Thanks for showing up. Will anyone have the courage to talk about the influence of money and ruining, or you're saying running? I'm saying ruining our company quarterback. I think it's been said across a lot of forums. I've said it myself that we do not own our own government. It's owned by money people and power people, and kind of the people who wrote the Constitution were all rich by any standard. George Washington, Hancock, Madison. All these people who wrote the Constitution and signed it, they were all rich. They were all landowners. And it continues that way today. You can't get elected. If I wanted to run and I were really intelligent, well, if I was really intelligent, I wouldn't want to run for office. But if I were really, really politically astute and wanted to run for office, there's no way I'd get past dog catcher because it takes money. Right now, what we have are greasing the palms. Someone's saying this today. What we have now are people are greasing the palms with money. That's how things are getting done. Not because you need low-income housing, we'll give you some. The greedy get rich, and the poor just hold on. Okay. Rents are high, sky high for rentals too. Yeah, it is. That's what I just said. You can, but if you have a down, you can purchase a home. But rent is high, and it is in our case, rent is costs more than what we pay, but we had a down, so. It's more affordable here to buy than to rent if you have a down. T-Barb. If you don't have a down, you can't even look at a house without a down. It's not what is more affordable, it's what you can do. What is this? Do you not have the YouTube donation button? Yeah, there's one at the very beginning of the site where it says, it has the blue moon and the blue in the background. That's a new background for me. But yeah, over there to the right, there's a little button that says donate. And so far, only about 3 people have found it.
Okay.
We need a donate button this big.
No, it's all right.
Don't listen to her. This is a wife. Don't listen to her. I have a bunny and I have a peanut. I have a peanut to feed.
That's true.
Will mass kids go to jail? So far, no. He's going to be disgraced. What's going to happen is, when his accusers come forward, there won't be, just because 50 people said he did something, there's not going to be a lot of evidence as to it. A lot of it happened a long time ago. It's a typical story. 50 people saying he did something doesn't mean it's true, even though it probably is. Proving it's a whole other thing. I believe he'll be disgraced and go down and crash into the ground like a terrible old airplane. And at some point, he'll form a coalition of something in Washington and be a lobbyist or something like that. See, it's the thing. This thing about snakes. You beat them with a shovel and they go into the weeds. And then they come back as something else, another kind of snake that you don't recognize. So he'll be a lobbyist or a paid informant or something like that, that he'll make plenty of money. Or he'll write a book, he'll claim his innocence, even if I think by the skin of his teeth, I think he stays out of jail. If my ex-husband is renting a 2-bedroom, 2-bath, all on one floor condo and paying $1,600 a month. I don't know where that is. 2-bedroom, 2-bath. We can't get that here. That will get you 1 bedroom, a bathroom, and a little kitchen, and no garage for your car. That's what that'll get you here. Greeting from Washington D.C. Jerry Jameson's with that. Ooh, Jameson. He was a great bass player in Motown. Silliness, isn't it? Sorry to ask another question, Gary, but how will Minneapolis heal after the trial? I reside there. I'm worried how things will go. What happens is when the disruptive people pack up and go home, you see, you have people in town doing things that are paid to be there. Yeah, how could they afford to do that? Just create havoc all night and sleep all day? These are outside influences, and a lot of these people are not from there. And the people from there have been influenced and tainted, and they really don't want these people in their group. But it'll go on as long as, you see, you're defunding. So how are you going to stop people when you're defunding? Meanwhile, all the police that have been damaged are collecting PTSD money. So they're not working. So you have fewer dollars. When these people get tired of it and go home, and it's a political purpose, and when they get tired of doing it, how can you sit around 6 months in some town creating havoc and lighting fires and hurting people unless you have money? Somebody's paying them. Follow the money. Well, it's a good one. What happened to Doreen Virtue? Her eyes and hair became dark as she changed, saying psychics were satanic. You see, I don't know Doreen Virtue, but I know a lot of people that do know her. It's a person who preached one style of something to make money. She's not a true believer in any of it. She goes this way to make a lot of money selling oracle cards and things like that, which was brilliant and had a lot of really talented people contributing to that. Oh, this is terrible for me to say this. Some kind of hormonal imbalance in her has made her a little strange and different. And she's feeling the pinch of ageism. And now she's selling on the other side. It's like the guy who sells Bibles for 50 years and makes a living at it, and Bibles are out of touch, and then they start selling voodoo books because that's in. She's an opportunist. What will happen to her? What happened to her? She's a victim of circumstance. She got attracted to the dark side, and she got sort of turned around by a lot of speech by other people. And she was raised, and there's some kind of Catholic thing going on there. She was raised Catholic, and or something like that. Outside, she got in with a group of people that were pushing that, and that sort of made her feel guilty about things. But she's an opportunist. If women's wigs were popular next week, she'd be selling those. No, there's no devil in her. Mike, Meter? Is that how it's? Meter. It's an interesting name. There's no dark spirit in her making her do this. She picked on her own. She did it herself, but she had a lot of influences, a lot of people calling her and saying things, and it sort of turned her the other way. She lost a lot of friends. But these people, they jump from one boat to another. This boat's floating and making good money, and then there's a decline in the Oracle card because everybody had them. A million people bought them. Nobody else really was interested, and that sort of the industry went down, and book selling went down, and fewer books being published, and now she's on this side. Opportunist, someone's saying. Will Florida ever go blue? It's possible. It's going to take a lot of something about there'll have to be a demographic change. The people that live there will have to be different, but it can be done. The thing is, the people who can change that don't move there. I'm sorry, I cannot find a donate button. It's on the first page.
Yeah,
it's on the.
She had another issue going. That's okay.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Well, the gun violence slowed down. It seems to be escalating. For a time, it's going to be hard to fight. It's going to get hard to get a bill passed to restrict any of it. People have seen that words don't work. They pick up a gun, they get a lot of attention. And there's a lot of nuts out there, and getting a gun is no problem. So yeah, it'll continue to go up. There'll be a lot more mass shootings. Automatic rifles are, of course, the blame there. You don't need 50 shots to. Oh, I've had people claim in a store to me that they hunt deer with that gun. I said, it's not an accurate gun for hunting deer. Why would you do that? Well, I do. No, you don't. You're lying to me. Interestingly, the guy that worked in that store, they stopped selling guns. He had to get another job. But you don't need 50 shots to defend yourself. And they're not good for hunting. So it's all. The thing is, America, if you could sell a fully operational tank, there would be one out here. Someone in the neighborhood would spend $1 billion and own a tank because they think they have the right to. Makes them feel good. It's like a guy that owns 6 guns doesn't feel safe. He's going to have 16 guns or 20 guns, and then he'll feel safer. Although it's not true. He's made himself a target to people breaking in and stealing guns, so he's probably less safe. Am I babbling? Okay. Jenny, are there people or groups that are driving the immigration push to our border for their own benefit and in order to cause problems here in the United States? No, this is a natural occurring thing. People in Nicaragua and those countries, they don't have anything to sell. And they're not oil producing. They don't have gold. They don't have. So people are being. They're attacking, they're cannibalizing and killing their own people. So it's a natural thing to escape. Now, this is not Of course, when your president goes on the air and says, we don't want you here, it has the opposite effect. More people come. And now we have a president who is going the other way. Even more are coming because they think they can, and yet the law hasn't changed. So they're being stopped at the border because the laws haven't changed, allowing them in. No, I don't see some unseen force or political motive or money motive, except people are paying people to get them there. They're paying these coyotes to put them in a truck and get them to the fence, get them to the border. So they're making out and spreading stories, but governmental agency, no. Why would Nicaragua want to send their people here? They have less of a force. Their country's yeah, not enough people to farm now. You see the point is there's no, we don't have Putin down there saying, yeah, go to the border and go in there. Actually, immigrants make our country stronger. They don't make us weaker. So be doing us a favor. Doreen had a ton, lots of YouTube views doing the New Age Act, and now has barely any viewers with the boring Christian videos. Well, it's hard to sell religion right now. Hard to sell religion right now. I'm not, just 1 in 4 people claim any religious affiliation. Churches are empty. We have a nice, large, brand new church a couple blocks from here, and how they got the money to build it, I don't know, but they run off of tithings, and they come by here trying to talk us into going to church because they don't have enough money to pay for it. It's not, the new religion is money. Ooh, that's interesting from the other side. Never heard that before. New religion is money or power, but not Jesus or God. After a long, when will the federal minimum wage get to $15 nationwide? I don't believe that happens. I believe there'll be some states that won't possibly pass it. It's not going to be, no one's going to pass a law saying that is for a while. I believe it has merit. We're going to look at the big picture of that. In California, where they said $15, now people are out of work. They're running shifts with 3 people instead of 8. So people are being displaced by it. And in some cases, they've got machines to do it all. So the higher the money that you have to pay people, the fewer people will be employed. Doesn't that make sense? That's just the way people are. We had a discussion about that at lunch today with someone who they're paying people now, April 2021, they're paying people $15 an hour here. Why? Because they can't get anybody that wants to work.
Yeah, but they're not paying the people who've been there.
I'm the answer man here. Because they can't get anybody to work, the price will go up and the people who do show up that they are paying $15 an hour to is standing around doing nothing. So if you own a business, it's bleak. Someone's saying bleak. There's pockets in the country where that works really well, where you have affluent people and the property taxes are high enough that blah, blah, blah. See, it's a bigger picture than that. In poor areas, those places will just go out of business. They won't pay $15 an hour to have people stock things. So drugstores will go away in areas. Sandwich shops will go under because you're not going to pay. You have to pay $20 for a sandwich to pay people $15 an hour to make them. So you see, it's very complicated. Yes, I see some of that happening nationwide, not for a while. I could have just said that, couldn't I? Well, I see you're making up your own question and answer here. Gail Gillum, What can be done about the violent gangs in Central America driving people to our borders? No. See, you made up a question and you answered it in a way that leaves me very little room. How do you know these violent gangs are driving them to our border? Who'd you hear this from? Is this crap on the news, or is it politically motivated? They're killing people for money, and they're not driving them here without violence. They're not being paid to do it. It's a people attacking itself. So it's a natural occurring. They're not doing it because someone's paying them from this country to do it. You're trying to make up your own scenario. Oh, there's a dark cloud that there's this underground group of people driving people to be at our border and create problems, and we don't want those brown people in our... No, it's just a naturally occurring thing. It's happening in Europe. People from countries who are disadvantaged and their countries are not doing well, they're going to Germany, number one, because they're the powerhouse. And they go to France and they go to Britain because that's where the jobs are. And that's the nature of the world right now. Big migration, mass migrations of people moving from one country to another, getting passports, and if they can. So this is not some big scheme of underground people down in a little hole in the ground deciding, oh, let's get them over. It's a naturally occurring thing. People are starving. They can't live there anymore. So, or they've been threatened with their lives, and they leave town. They take over their house and they sell it, or they move into it themselves. This is what's going on. That's why there's Syrians in Germany, because they can't live in Syria. There's no jobs, there's no money, and suppressive forces. And well, you think we should go down there and maybe take care of these gangs instead of their Nicaraguans' problems? We want to do that. No, it's not going to happen. Traffickers encouraging for profit. What profit? Coyotes. They're the ones making money. And of course, they had wrecks down there that have killed 7 people in a van because the coyotes getting paid to get them to the border. And some astute policeman sees all those people in a van who are Hispanic, and they pull them over, but they have a car chase. So people are being paid to get them across the border. That's gone on since Texas became a state. The people are paid coyotes to get them across. Before the big fence, it's the Red River. They have to cross that. And there's certain places where it's easier. So they hire these people to get them across or drive them across. But economics is driving this. And I know because I live next to a place where that Hispanic people who live here send a lot of their money back to Mexico and these other countries because they're starving. They can get a job here. And the reason I know is there's a gas station I used to go all the time. There's a line of Hispanics out the door taking their cash, turning it into those, what do they call them?
Money orders.
Money orders, and sending money back home because they're starving. So, economic crisis worldwide, someone's saying. It's a worldwide crisis. All over Europe. Yadi yadi, I love it. I love that name. Will credit scores disappear? No, they're around to stay. They're not going anywhere. Here's the thing. The world judges people, and it judges poor people harshly. This is a way of keeping poor people from getting the credit they need because the credit's no good. You don't pay your bills. You can't walk away from it, and so you declare bankruptcy and you go someplace, get a bunch more cards, and keep going. That's why they have these things. Finance companies are not, someone's saying very loudly, finance companies are not going to allow it. They're going to continue the practice because it keeps us from getting, deadbeat people from getting great credit. Then those people who are deadbeats, they get charged 30%. Well, then the mafia didn't charge that much. So it's bad. It's bad. If you're poor, you have poor credit. You try and get money to buy a house, they're not going to let you. Why? Because you have poor credit. You don't pay your bills. It's someone's saying it's natural. That's what's going on. Where are we? There's a lot of things in life that look like they're, preordained, but they're not. We just allow them to happen. And you can't legislate moral things in our government. We've got 8 million laws. We only follow about 40 of them. Why? Because policemen they can't enforce them. There's still laws here in Texas. You can't spit on the sidewalk. It's actually those laws in towns. You think we fine people or throw them in jail for that? No. Strange. Will Andrew Cuomo resign, or will he get through all the scandal of nursing home deaths? Well, he opened up a can of worms. He was doing pretty good in the world until he decided to oppose the Republicans. And they're the ones digging hard at this. No, I don't think he'll survive. I don't think he has a short term left. Because why? That's what we've been talking about. His political backers with money have told him so, that they're no longer going to back him. They're not going to reelect him with the money. He can't get elected in New York without their money. So they're paying. He's their boy. They're paying him to say, "Hey, let's do this. Hey, let's do that," and he does it. He's acting like he's all tough, but actually he's just doing what his constituency that pays him, not the constituency that says, "Hey, I don't like this." The people who are paying him is what he's doing. He's always been this way, and he's sort of a malcontent anyway. Even among his own party, they don't like him. The malcontent, and he expresses his views too often. They're really fed up with him. I don't think he's a bad man. I just think he's done some bad things, and maybe there's questionable ethics here. I can compare that to the Kennedys. They did some really terrible things, but they also did some wonderful things. So, no, he won't survive because the people who are paying him to be in that office have already informed him his supply money is cut off, so he can't run again. His best thing is to get out as quick as possible without a huge amount of damage and try and do something else. I don't want to do that one. That's the first time I said no to. Let's see. Charlene is micro. Now that Prince Philip is past no.
No way.
She's going to the grave. Why don't you pull a card on that? Where's your cards?
No, I didn't pull them out.
I got her here for that. Sorry. This is Bunny, the card puller. No, she won't step down. She likes the office too much. And she's worth billions and billions of dollars. No one in the world has as much money as Queen Elizabeth. And basically, she is ineffective. She doesn't rule anything. The royal family is just there for looks because they've gotten so used to them. They go out and open supermarkets or whatever these people do, but they have no function. They're talking heads.
Here we go. 9 of Pentacles. She's not going anywhere. She likes the life she's leading right now.
The people that she wasn't voted in, she got in on strength of her bloodline. Where they killed millions of people in 10 countries. That's where she comes from. The enforcer monarchs and stuff, that's where her bloodline comes from. No, she's not leaving. She'll die in office. They'll have a big parade that'll go on for 4 days. And Charles will take over. And he's just worthless. He's just worthless. Cheated on Diana with that ugly woman. Ugh. Not going to say her name. I might get sued. I don't think anybody would agree she's a pretty one. Diana was a beauty queen and smart and a lovely person, and he cheated on her. He lost all respect for that when that happened. But I think that's generally true of people with money and power, that they feel they can do anything they want to do. It's a shame. Mr. Navalny in Russian prison. He's not leaving prison. He's not leaving prison alive. If they do let him out, there's no political pressure in Russia to get him out. And Russia already has sanctions on from every country. So you can't force them to do something they want to do. They don't care. Polonium's what they kill people with. That radioactive polonium, they've killed all the people that don't like him. He'll spend his time in jail. And I believe he gets really poor. They're not going to film him. They're not going to show him, but he looks bad. Putin, will he be gone soon? I think he just passed a law saying he can't be gone soon. He's in another 16 years or something.
I thought.
He's ex-KGB. He's not the ice cream salesman. He's an ex-KGB. And the funny thing is, the Russian people love this guy. He's stretched around like a Benny Rooster. He's fighting tigers, and it's all for show. And they use that. That's a strongman persona, where he appears to be strong, and really they give him his power. But they actually like this guy. They like Khrushchev too. And he killed 1 million of his own people by just starving them. So they have a history of strong men running the country going back to the beginning of their country. The czars were that way. Lenin, all these people they're in the same mold. They get rich, they're not going anywhere. He's made sure he doesn't have to go anywhere. Now, he has no political opponents, because why? He kills them.
Right.
That's a shame, too.
Yeah.
Gorbachev had a choice, and he made a good choice, but then it was all undone. All this Crimea, Ukrainian problems would go away. The sanctions would be removed. Russia would be able to sell its oil. It'd be a rich country again if they got rid of Putin. Yet they still hold on to him. They like him. They'll suffer and starve, and because why? Because they have 1,000 years of suffering and starving. The country is built that way. Well, I mean, they don't like democracy. It's very tough if you've always been told what to do to all of a sudden have to think for yourself. It's very tough, very tough. Strong man and a dead bod.
I'm not sure what that is.
I have no idea. He's a smarmy little crap.
The video on that.
Well, I know who did John Benet Ramsey. I know who killed John Benet Ramsey. There's a video. Now you have to go look through all however many hundreds of videos there are, but I did one on that. If you're interested in John Benet Ramsey, I identified who it was because nobody listens to me. Just my followers here. But yeah, a couple of years ago I did a video about John Benet Ramsey. I don't know why, but it. Well, Biden released another stimulus check, not right away, because he's trying to do other things. He shifted his attention from that to, and unemployment things are going to sort of peter out. There'll be less money from the government. Why? Because there isn't any money left. They spent it all. He's worried about infrastructure and the military and all these other things are piling up. There may be another one, but it's going to be hard fought to get that one through Congress. See, the Republicans have gone along with it because they don't want to look bad saying no, we can't give money to the people who are out of money. So, old student loans, Jerry Jameson. There'll be a certain amount of forgiveness, but not on the whole. No, you're going to have to pay those back. Why? Because you borrowed it, and you signed it, and you knew what you did when you did it. Those people looking for an easy out there are going to find it a little difficult. There won't be a wholesale giving away of forgiving debt. He has forgiven some where people were duped into paying money and didn't get an education, but I think it stops right there for now. Encinitas, California. Oh, Lucrecia Valdez. Oh, it's a lovely first name. I hope I pronounced that right. I think I did. Is Trump using the presidential letterhead he took and left D.C. to give backdated pardons? No. Those all have to be. There's a committee that overlooks those. You just can't do that without being. There's an oversight committee, and you can't backdate a pardon. You want to pull a card on one? Pick one. Pull a card.
Oh, that's a hard.
Pick one, and will humans fly by Mars by 2035? Certainly so. Certainly so. And someone just said something very interesting. I always say someone, but it's someone named Judy. I don't know this guide of mine, this Judy person. Cryonic sleep is going to be the key to that. People can't survive 10 years in space going to a planet. There'll be some kind of chronic sleep, which I believe they're working on. I don't have any information about it. I've not seen anything, but I trust spirits. And they said the sleep problem is where it is. We'll have stuff up there long before we send people. We'll have robotics, we'll have buildings, we'll have materials. Interstellar space travel. I wrote a book about it. Leaving the Earth to Save It. Everything you want to know about going to Mars is in that book. Leaving the Earth to Save It. But eventually we'll get there. And we'll try and regenerate an atmosphere. Isn't that interesting? And water is currently there, but at a low level. It's livable. Let's see, where are we at? You want to answer one of these?
We're running out of time, so you just finish up.
And my dog Izzy is 15, and I'm worried she's getting ready to go. Is she? She has kidney problems and cancer of some kind. Will be the ending of this talk. It's already in the process. She already has breathing problems. She has labored breathing problems. I believe that's where the problem is. There's a cancerous thing. This is not something you want to spend $10,000 or $100,000 fixing. She'll die of natural causes, old age, but it's a lot of things. Can you pull a card for me, Lucretia?
Let's see what we got.
Of course you can.
Okay, I can pull a card. Let's see what we got. I wish you brought
This is fun. I'm glad we did this one. This current affairs. I've never done this before, and it's been a lot of fun. I enjoy it. And not so much giving free readings, she's going to pull a card for Lucretia, but
so I got the Six of Cups.
Yeah,
where is it? I can't. There you go.
You have it right.
There you go. Yeah. So.
What is it though? What is the card called?
It's the Six of Cups.
That's what they want to know.
Oh.
A lot of card readers out there. A lot of healers out there. By the way, we're going to do healing on the 25th at 2 o'clock. So I'm interested in the same people showing up or more people showing up.
So, are you done?
Well, I'm blunt. I've been said, but I hear things I've got to say.
That's right. You do. One card is kind of hard, but to me, this just means that you're a very giving person, very family oriented.
You're remorseful about something you've done that you can't take back. Mm-hmm. See, we're not doing readings today. No more cards. You guys are looking for free readings. We're not doing free readings.
We'll do another full one with readings and cards and stuff, and maybe
we'll do that.
Prepared for that more.
We will?
I will. You don't need to prepare for anything.
No. So we're having healing on the 25th, 2 o'clock Central Time, United States. And all of you foreign healers need to get in on this because there's worldwide, I believe worldwide, there's like a billion more real healers than there are mediums. Mediums are really rare. Like I say, I've traveled all over the country. I might go a year or two before I ever see anybody that's even similar to me. But healers, natural, good, talented, exceptional healers seem to be proliferating everywhere. Oh, Peanut, he needs to say goodbye. He's jumped up here.
Peanut just woke up. He was behaving himself the whole time.
He never does that.
He never behaves himself.
There he is. Ooh, my big finger.
He's like, what's going on?
You woke me up for this?
You woke me up, Mommy.
You woke me up for this? Okay, this has been it's a lot of fun.
It's been a lot of fun.
We love doing it. And we'll, remember on the 25th, 2 o'clock Central Standard Time, whatever that is, standard. There's no such thing as standard time. But United States, 25th, 2 o'clock, and we'll pick someone within the chat room. It's been lovely.
Yes. We'll do another reading tonight.
Usually this part of it is usually in the middle of the month, 11th, 15th, and then the healing is toward the end of the month. So they're all saying goodbye.
Thank you so much, everybody.
And as always, no fear, no regret, no anger.
Bye.
Bye. That's it.